So, we are team number 1, and our topic is the drugs. So, first, we need to know what a drug is. A drug is a substance that obviously is not a food because food provides nutritional support and the drugs don't. This substance, when it is smoked or injected or absorbed via a patch on the skin or even dissolved under the tongue, causes physiological and psychological changes in our bodies. For our team, it is important the drug education because with it we can learn like the warning signs of an addiction or the effects they can cause in our minds and bodies. Also, the consequences in the different areas of our daily life, like the friends, the family, the relationships we have, even the school, and what it is the most important, how to deal with someone that already has this addiction and how to be supporting for them in the rehab process or detoxification.
A real life application for this topic could be, for example, imagine you have a friend that consumes drugs. You can see on the effects of drugs on your friend, not only on his physical health but also on his mental health. For example, on his physical health, he could not have the same resistance as a normal person would, and on the mental issues, he could more easily go into depression. His feelings will be on the border, like he could get easily annoyed, easily bothered, etc. And also, you can see that he would probably won't be the person that he was before taking them, because once you start using drugs, you hardly can undo the effects that those drugs do to your organism.
Marijuana refers to the dried leaves, flowers, stems, and seeds from the cannabis sativa. There are over 200 slang terms for marijuana, including pot, herb, weed, grass, widow, Mary Jane, bubblegum, northern lights, fruity juice, among others. It looks a lot like a cherry green brown mix of a plant material, like for example if you take out the leaf and you dry it in the sun. And you consume it by smoking it. It can also be baked into food like brownies, cookies, candies, or it can be brewed as a tea and drink it. Then the cocaine. The cocaine is one of the oldest known psychoactive substances. It's a powerful stimulant derived from the leaves of the coca plant. And the coca plant is native from South America. The drug was originally used as an anesthetic and constrict blood vessels. It was first like a medicine, but then it didn't work a lot and it make you like trouble, for instance. And the street names are Coke, Flake, Snow, Blow, White, Toot, Base, Basa, Powder, Dust, Pearl, among others. It's mostly sold like as a fine white powder, and many times it's mixed with other substances like cornstarch, talcum powder, or sugar to dilute it. And it's also sold in solid form like a rock, so you can smoke it. The forms of consuming it is by snorting, injecting, because it is soluble in water, so you can like mix it and then inject yourself, or smoking. Then the LSD. LSD stands for lysergic acid diethylamide. It is made of an extremely potent hallucinogen. It is synthetically made from lysergic acid. It's found in fungus that grows on rye and other grains. The street names from LSD is acid, blotter, doses, dots, strips, mellow yellow, window pane, and it's all like in little pieces of paper, so it depends on the design of the paper. It can be called like that. It is a crystalline form and then mixed with other inactive ingredients. It can also be diluted in a liquid for production in ingestible forms. It is odorless, colorless, and has like a slightly bitter taste. Some people inhale it or snort it, or it can also be injected. The heroin is derived from morphine, and it is also found in a poppy plant. One of the street names is White China, Smack, Big H, Black Tar, Chiba, Junk, Brown Sugar, Skunk, Thunder, among others. It's a powder like cocaine, but it's soluble on water, so it can be injected. And you can inject it, you can smoke it, or you can snort through the nose. The methamphetamine is a synthetic, or it's like a designer drug. It is man-made from chemicals. The street names for this drug include chalk, crank, crystal meth, speed, ice. It can come in several forms, including tablets, powder, or crystals. And the tablets are sometimes referred as Java, and the smokable crystals are often called crystal meth or ice. You consume it depending on its form. It can be swallowed, snorted, or injected. Then this is one of the most common drugs. Tobacco is a plant grown for its leaves. It has a lot of nicotine, and the trees are dry and fermented before being put in tobacco products. The street names are smokes, cigarettes, cigs, darts, rollies, butts, coffin nails, or cancer sticks. You can consume it by smoke it, chew it, or you can sniff it. The last drug is alcohol. Alcohol is also known by its chemical name, ethanol, and it's a psychoactive substance that is active ingredients in drinks such as beer, wine, and distilled spirits. The alcohol is a problem when the person has an alcohol issue, like it drinks a lot. One of the street names for alcohol is booze, brew, chug, goof, giggle juice, hard stuff, Kool-Aid, and you consume it by drinking it. And yes.
Marijuana can make you feel relaxed and happy, but sometimes makes people feel lethargic, very anxious, and paranoid, and even psychotic. Cocaine gives the user energy, a feeling of happiness and being wide awake, and an overconfidence that can lead the person to taking risks. The effects are short-lived, so more drug is taken, which then is followed by an hasty calm down that makes you feel depressed and unwell, sometimes for several days. LCD feeds off your imagination, so every person's experience is unique. How the trip goes will depend on your surroundings, who you are with, and how comfortable you are with them, as well as by your mood. Heroin is a very strong drug that the first dose of heroin can cause dizziness and vomiting, but the people look after this drug to feel relaxed, happy, euphoric, or even sleepy. Methamphetamine can reduce your appetite and makes you feel alert, awake, agitated, paranoid, confused, aggressive, and aroused. Tobacco and alcohol are legal stimulants that produces euphoria and divination. When a person is trying to quit the use of a drug, this person can experience paranoia, aggressiveness, hallucinations, impaired judgment, impulsiveness, loss of self-control. Also, the person may feel depressed, anxious, and may stay very sick for several weeks till the body stops needing that drug or stop needing the effects of the drug that produces on their body, on a person's body. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the long-term consequences of taking drugs. The first drug is marijuana, and it has several harms to your body. The first one is in the lungs. It's a higher risk of infections like tuberculosis and pneumonia. You have daily coughs and phlegms, like it's a chronic cough. In the heart, you have hypertension and higher risk of heart attacks. When women are exposed to marijuana during their pregnancies, their babies are usually born with a lower birth weight than normal and malformations during the fetus's brain and some behavior problems. Another long-term consequence is called cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, which is that means that the person under the effect of marijuana experiences chronic nausea and vomiting, and this leads to dehydration. The next drug is cocaine, and in the heart it produces blood clots, heart attacks, strokes, deep vein thrombosis, tachycardia, arrhythmias, and hypertension. In the lungs, the blood vessels constrict. You also get pneumonia and tuberculosis. You can also have a pulmonary edema, asthma, and eosinophilic pneumonitis. In the brain, it's more usual that you have aneurysms, seizures, atrophy, which is like the shrinking of the brain, and vasculitis, extreme fevers, which is hyperpyrexia, permanent harm of the temporal lobe, and higher risk of dementia. Some gastrointestinal consequences are ulcers and colitis. In the liver, you can lead to cocathylene. In the kidneys, you get chronic kidney disease and rhabdomyolysis. With LSD or acids, you may get a coma, gastric bleeding, vomiting, tremors, insomnia, dizziness, hypertension, which is the same as the increased heart rate, dry mouth, and loss of appetite. With heroin, in women, menstrual disturbance appears, and in men, reduced sexual capacity. You can also get partial paralysis, constipation, bad teeth, some inflammation in the gums, loss of memory, and chronic depression. With methamphetamines, what happens is that you get tachycardia, hypertension, hyperthermia, which is an extreme temperature of the body, brain strokes, brain deformation leading to the speech and coordination problems. You can also get skin sores, cracked skin, tooth decay, cardiomyopathy, aortic dissection, heart attacks, and an even higher risk of getting Parkinson's disease. With tobacco, you must know that your teeth started to become yellow. You have bad breath almost all the time. You can also lose teeth, like it falls. You have a higher risk of getting nose, lip, tongue, larynx, pharynx, stomach ulcers, early wrinkles, and damaged or reduced sperm in the men, and early menopause and irregular periods in women. And finally, the alcohol long-term consequences. In the brain, you get permanent damage in the cerebellum, in the cerebral cortex, and the limbic system. In the liver, you can get fatty liver, alcoholic hepatitis, fibrosis, and cirrhosis. In the heart, you get
cardiomyopathy, arrhythmias, strokes, and hypertension. In the pancreas, you have a higher risk of pancreatitis. In the kidneys, also the chronic kidney disease. And in the stomach, you may get gastritis, nausea, vomiting, internal bleeding, ulcers, diarrhea, and stomach cancer.